What's going on, guys? Matt Wacek coming at you with another video. Today is another continuation of the expired domain that I acquired a couple weeks back. We're now going to be building out the first page on Thrive Architect, however it's pronounced, doesn't really matter. And if you have not seen any of the previous videos in this series, you'll want to go back and make sure that you watch them. And that way you'll know and understand exactly what's going on. So without further ado, let's hop into our builder. What you're going to want to do on the right side of the screen is click that cloud with the arrow in it. And we want to grab a template here. You're going to want to come down here to Thrive, whatever it is, Biz. And I'm a big fan of the medical one here because it just looks the best, and in my opinion it just seems to work really well for my sites. If you find that you like some of these other ones, then go right ahead and use them, but for me, I'm a big fan of this one. So as this loads up, alright, so what we're going to do is build out the initial content on here, being, again, as I'm keeping the domain private for now. I'm not going to be adding anything that would give away what the domain is. But we're just going to start creating some stuff here. So we're going to do just XXX cleaning services. And then we're going to delete that. So we're going to grab a content box, and this is where we're going to put the menus. What I've noticed on some of my sites, it's really goofy with how this has been working, but if I have the logo adjacent to a menu right here, on mobile, it gets rather wonky, and you have to basically scroll over to the right side of the page on your phone in order to see the menu. And I don't want people visiting the site to have to do that. I want them to be able to access the menu very quickly, because there's also a tap to call button in the menu. And I want people visiting the site to be able to navigate to other pages extremely easily, because the moment that something becomes hard to do for a consumer, they quit, they give up. We want the path of least resistance. So we're going to drag and drop a new menu here. And they have a whole host of ones to choose from. So we're just going to go with this one here. Just super basic. It seems to get the job done just fine for me. And we're going to delete that and that. So for the menu, these are self-explanatory here. We're going to do about. Services. And so for each of these services pages, we're going to do basically a sub of what the main service is, which is cleaning services, but we're going to do one for residential, and we'll do one for commercial. Third navigation, we'll do contact us, and then the last one we'll do service area. One thing with this service area, being as this is an exact match location-specific domain, I may not build out as many service plus city pages just for that very reason. We'll see how things go over the next couple weeks in regards to indexing and that sort of stuff. And so for this menu, for this last one, we're just going to delete that. And this particular button, we're going to do tap here to call us now. And if you're brand new to building out sites and making clickable links for telephone numbers, the way you'd want to go about it, at least in terms of a builder like this, if you're doing the raw HTML, there's a bit more that goes into it. But this is just tell colon or semicolon and then the phone number. So we'll do, for this instance, we'll do 281-330-8004. I said on the last video, if someone recognizes that phone number, please leave a comment down below. Anyways, all right, so for our header, this is going to be the H1 font, so make sure you have your toolbar near you and make sure that this font is your H1. This is what sets the tone for what this page is all about. So what you'll want to do is make sure that the page here is all about, in this instance, being as this is an exact match domain, that is all about one particular city. We want this to be all about that one particular city. Generally though, if it's a branded business type of domain, or it's like a location specific lead gen or affiliate type of website, say Northern Utah water damage restoration, for example, you want to set up the headquarters city as the home page. So if you end up getting a Google Maps listing, whatever city that you're technically quote unquote based in is where you're going to want to have the home page based around. One other thing to note when it comes to using adjectives to describe the business, you will have to check with the affiliate network that you are working for to see what type of rules they have regarding the adjectives and descriptive words that you use for the service. Some companies do not allow you to say the best cleaning company in X city or whatever. I don't understand why they do that, but it's just the rules of the game. If you don't like a network that does that, maybe find a network that does, or get the site ranking and sell the leads directly to a business owner. They are probably more than willing to have you say that their company is the best and you're at the #1 spot. So when someone sees that website, top of the first page, and it says this company is the best, they're going to believe that that company surely is the best because they're right there on Google. So I'm going to pause the video real quick. I'll write up a quick paragraph and then we'll be back. So we have a paragraph written out, just something really quick for the time being. And you'll notice the background here has totally changed. What you want to do to change the background to something relevant to your niche is you head down to background style, you click image, and then you click on the image right here, and it should prompt up the file section, and that's where you'd import your images. You're going to need a massive file size for this background here. You're going to want to head over to either Pixabay or Adobe, Shutterstock, any of those places to get as big of a photo as you can. We're talking a few megabytes here, so that way it's high quality for someone who's viewing it on a desktop. Also, what you'll want to do is set it to be static backgrounds, because if you see, if I turn that off and we scroll down, it just leaves it there, and that's really doesn't look that great. A lot more impactful when it is set to a static background. You can also then play around with it depending on the layout of the photo and that sort of stuff with the location of the image and where you want it to be centered. Now when it comes to the text, you want to have a background because as you can see, you can't really read this because it's right here. If we look at mobile version, we can probably read it okay, but we're going to add a background. So we're just gonna copy this. What I suggest that you do is just find something that's relatively gray so that way text will still stand out. And then you want to have there be some opacity there. So we're just gonna have this be at about 70%. So it's still see-through, but you can still read the text perfectly. And then make an appointment. What we do here is either change it to, if you wanted to have this be the call now button, you could say tap here to call now. Or you can have it state get a quote or make an appointment, whatever calls to action you want to use. You can always, as you start to get more traffic, you can change it up and see which one converts better and see what's better for your audience. So we're just going to leave this one as, we'll just do it as get a quote today. And then for this one with the phone number, we are going to change the background on that as well. Change this to 70. And we're going to hit apply. To set up the link on these buttons, you will want to go down here to animation and action. And from right here, you would enter in your link. And then you click apply. Make sure this is not set to open in a new tab, because if someone's on mobile and they click that, they're going to wonder what the hell's going on with their browser and why they're opening up another tab. Make sure it is not set to open up a new tab. Also leave it as a follow link because this will help with interlinking your site, so do not set it to no follow. For our phone number right here, we want to do the exact same thing. We want to highlight it and we're going to link out to it from up here at the toolbar. And you're going to type in phone number 281-330-8004. And then you're going to change this to be written out in the same exact manner that you have it across all of your citations, or how you plan to, being as we're still building out the first page. So 330-8004. And we do not want that to open up in a new tab either, because it's going to really confuse someone who's on their phone viewing this. And if they click it, we want them to make that phone call right there. So we're going to do insert and leave it just as such. We do not necessarily want to use our location in this one because we already have it up here. So what we can do though is use something different in terms of the descriptive words that we're using. So you'd use an adjective of cleaning service. So this could be your housekeeping and janitorial experts, for example. This is actually perfect, and that's what I'm going to actually use right here on this site. And so then down here we have a paragraph where we're going to continue to exacerbate the problem, so that way the person viewing the site is reading through this, and if they have not decided to call already, we're making them basically feel like they really have a problem and they need to solve it. So that we introduce that there. We have a relevant image that we can put here as well, so we're going to change that to just this here. And when it comes to the alternate text, maybe once a page, have your image contain the keyword in the alternate text, but you don't want to go absolutely nuts with it. We're just going to leave it describing what's in the image, because that's really what matters. So, cleaning a bathroom. and you can adjust and change up the size of the image however. And we're going to start laying on the benefits to why we want them to give us a call. So why choose us, and you can stop there, or if you want to go a little bit more into it, being as this is H2 font, you can say why choose us for your, let's see here, if we have housekeeping and janitorial up there, we could do, you could do home or business cleaning, or we could actually do home or office. We'll do that. Why choose us for your home or office cleaning? So you'd want to throw in adjectives and things like licensed and insured if it's a niche where licensed is required. I'm not going to go too in depth with writing this stuff out because this video would be 40 minutes long, but you can also play around with some of the icons as well. If you're using 3 Architect, there are hundreds and hundreds of them, lots and lots to choose from. So you want to pick ones that are correlating with what it is that you're saying here and the message you want to convey. So now in this section, you can write about the services that are offered. So this one, you could basically say top quality residential and commercial services. And then you'd have them listed here. And what I would suggest that you do is create a link to your services pages that goes in depth. So if this one here is something like bathroom cleaning, we're going to highlight that and then insert the link, and we'll just say it's your site.com slash and then whatever the service page title may be. Or really what I would suggest that you do is make sure you have your silo set up so that way these links are not broken. So either way though, it'd be services slash, if you want to go super in depth with bathrooms and make a page all about that, you can do that. Otherwise this one will work here just fine. Residential cleaning or residential housekeeping. There you go. One feature I like doing with the services section is rather than having these check mark bulleted lists, is I'll take columns, place that here. We'll do 2/3, 1/3. We'll have a relevant image right here. So I can actually make a duplicate of that, drag it down here, and we'll drop it in there. Obviously you'd be wanting to use a different image, but for the example's sake, we're gonna just keep it simple. So we're gonna have a couple paragraphs, but we're also gonna have headings here. So this is going to be right above it, and we're gonna make this H3 font. So it gets rid of this little dash, which I think is kind of cool because it does have a little bit of a dividing factor to it. But I'll usually use this section to describe each branch of service. So professional, residential, let's see, residential housekeeping, and commercial janitorial services. Or we could even do janitors, because again, we already have janitorial up here. That's going to be H2. And we're going to grab a heading, and we're going to put it right above this particular paragraph. We're going to switch it up here to H3, and then type in cleaning for your entire house, for example. And then down here is where you describe the service itself. So bathrooms, kitchen, vacuuming, etc. Obviously you don't want to write it like that. You want full sentences. But this one you can increase the text size. So we have 36. We'll bump this up to at least 26. Maybe even bold it. This could be bolded too. And play around with the colors and see what works. You don't necessarily have to keep blue. There's an entire spectrum across every single one of these colors that you can use for your text. Obviously you don't want to use lime green on a gray background because you're not even going to be able to read it, but you get the idea. So then I'll do another H3 headline, and we'll drop it down below here. And to make some space, we'll just do the line height, and we'll adjust that a little bit on each one of these. So that way that's a bit more spaced apart. So then this one here could be industrial if your offer that you're working for, if your network that you're working for allows it, industrial, office, and all commercial janitorial work. There we go. And then you do the same thing, descriptive text right down below, and then we can delete these columns. Now when it comes to the testimonials down here, if you are trying to get approved for a network and you have some testimonials here that are basically made up, they may not approve you, they may not like that if you're using them on a site for their offers and they're not real testimonials, so you have to be careful with that and just see what their rules allow for. If you're working with a client as a lead gen type of campaign, then just have them send over some testimonials from their customers, and you can write that in with just their text. You can remove the picture, or if you have a picture, sweet, and then their name. And then I also like to add the city name, and you want to have the city name here correspond to what city the page is all about. So for example, if this one was all about Des Moines, then you'd want that on this page. But if that review or that testimonial derived from another city, use that on that page. You don't want to have two different city names or anything like that on here because that could confuse Google's bots. Then down here for the team, I usually will just delete it because it's not really needed in my opinion, at least for a lead gen site. And then for this section here, we're going to change the background color to the same color that this one is. So we're going to grab it. So we're going to grab this background color and we're going to make that global. We're going to hit apply. So there we go. So now we can use it down here as well. I'm going to change this, or we can even just tap that, hit apply, sweet. Then this font, we're going to need to change the color. Okay, so what I usually will do right down here is I'll delete this image, and instead we're going to put a Google map. So if you have a Google Maps listing, it may take a few days, but it may show up on here. So it'd be, you just type it in right here in the address if you're, again, using this platform. Otherwise, you can embed the actual map itself pretty easily. So you're going to go up here, type in HTML, drag and drop. So I'm going to drop it there. And what you'll do is find the Google Maps listing for the business that you have. And Google has a great tutorial on how to do this. But you just go there, they will give you the instructions on how to find that code, copy it, paste it right here, and then it will save. Then what you'd want to do is remove that and drag and drop this in that section, and then there we go. We have our map embedded right here. And then what you want to have here is something call to action related, but also trust building as well. So using different descriptive words. So here to help when you need it most. Here to help with your cleaning when it's needed most. So then you'll want to have some descriptive text with a light call to action at the end of it. Again, links to the contact page, or you could say schedule your service now, or whatever it is that you want to say in there. And I would recommend doing an H3 heading here, changing it over, putting it in the center, and state call us now, and then put the phone number. And then of course you want to set up the footer text and that sort of stuff as well. So what you want here is the year, then all rights reserved. If the business has an address that you're creating, you're going to put it in here, 123 your street north. We'll say Des Moines, Iowa, and then whatever the zip is. And you can also throw in that phone number here again. So we'll type that in and then make that clickable. So the reason for the clickable link here with the phone number is, one, it makes it easier for the person to get in touch, but two, Google sometimes will do us a solid and basically grab this link and put a clickable phone number link in the mobile search results right beneath our site. So that way the person doesn't even have to go to the website to make a phone call to us. So then also you're going to want to have links to a privacy policy and terms of service pages, and then links to each one of these pages, and then you're set to go. What you'd want to do from there is make sure you save that landing page, and then when you want to create another page, you go over here, open up the landing page template, save templates, it's going to be right there. So there we go. I'm going to get back to work on this, get this thing indexed and get it up into the search results. and start monetizing this site. So if you enjoyed this type of content, I'd appreciate if you went down below, dropped a like on the video. And if you're not already a part of the family, go down below, smash that subscribe button. Also hit the bell for notifications so that way you know when the newest content comes live here on the channel. And if you're interested in learning more in-depth information on building websites, ranking them in the search results, and monetizing them with pay-per-call, affiliate, or lead generation offers, there's a link to my course right down below in the description. And if you want to get the 9 most profitable pay-per-call and lead gen niches, there's a link to download that in the description as well. So with all of that said, I'm going to get back to work, and I will see you guys tomorrow in the next